so what we're going to start with is we're going to start with your thoracic spine. So we're going to put it horizontal on the ground. You're going to lay down on the foam roller. I want you to roll from like right where your shoulder blades end. So if you're a lady, you're going to roll from like where your broad line is, hands behind your head, lift your butt, and roll to like the base of your neck, up and down. Okay, we're going to roll like this for a few seconds. You might get some nice little pops and cracks, which feel really good. Just mobilizing that thoracic spine a little bit. We spend so much time hunched over and in like this flex position. So anything that we can do to open up our back is a really good thing. Okay, once we spend a little bit of time here and you're ready to move on, we're going to just gently roll more to one side. So we're going to be getting into like this lat area here, okay? If you have not rolled this before or it's been a while, it might be a little bit sensitive, so just be careful. You can always start kind of keeping your hips on the ground and just moving up and down. If you find that this is not super sensitive and you want a little more, you can lift your butt off of the ground. So what you want to be doing when you're foam rolling is kind of scanning for areas of sensitivity, because those tend to be the areas that need a little bit more attention. So for me, like right here is pretty sensitive, so I'm going to stop on this spot. I'm going to drop my hips, then I'm going to bend my elbow 90 degrees, and I'm going to internally and externally rotate my shoulder just to get in there a little bit deeper. You should feel that as you're spending more time on a specific area, it'll kind of melt some of that tension away. So if you do this for a few seconds and you find that it doesn't feel as sensitive, feel free to lift your hips again, roll around a little bit more, find another sensitive spot, stop there, and again, internally and externally rotate. If you have a lot of issues with overhead mobility, so like being able to reach your arms up and over, the lats and the muscles in this area, which we'll go over a lot today, if they're super tight and bound down, that can really restrict your overhead mobility. So this is an extremely important area to pay attention to if you have limited overhead mobility. We'll spend just like another, maybe like 15 seconds here. And if there's any things that we go over today and you're like, oh my gosh, like I really need that, feel free to like grab your phone or grab a little notepad and write some of these things down. Because again, like this is a great way to realize areas that you might not know are tight, or we might go over some stretches or techniques that you have never done before that you could benefit from for more in the future. Okay, once you guys are good there, we'll go ahead and go over to the other side. Again, if you guys need a little bit more time with any of the things that I have that I'm going through, feel free to take your time and just catch up with us when you're ready. Okay, same thing on this side. So again, you're gonna roll a little bit on the side, scan for areas of tightness and sensitivity. Feel free to kind of bring your hips up and down on the floor at first. If you feel like you want a little more, feel free to raise your hips up. If not, that's okay. And when you find a sensitive area, you're gonna stop there. You're gonna internally and externally rotate that shoulder. Scan for a few more areas of sensitivity. And the other thing too is like, you don't wanna be just like on your backside. You wanna roll so that you're kind of getting into the armpit, like right in this area, like this junction is where a lot of the shoulder stabilizers and rotator cuff muscles come together. So that junction tends to be very tight, and again, can cause a lot of issues with like shoulder pain, posture issues, things like that. So try to get up into that armpit as well. And if your neck is a little tired here, feel free to just take your other arm and just support your neck. We're gonna do some neck stretches at the end, which feel amazing. Woo. Again, finding areas of tightness, internally and externally rotating the shoulder. If you need a little more time here, feel free to take it. If you're ready to move on, I'm gonna go ahead and have you take that foam roller. You're gonna keep it the way that we started. You're gonna put your shoulder blades right on that foam roller. I don't want the foam roller into your low back, okay? I want it to be right where your shoulder blades are. We're gonna do some thoracic spine extensions and mobilizations. So you're gonna keep your knees and hips bent, your feet on the ground, hands behind your head. You're gonna take a deep breath in as you crunch up. On the exhale, you're gonna open all the way as far as you can, exhaling all of the air out of your lungs. And then on the inhale, you're gonna come back up, do another little mini crunch. Exhale, open all the way, okay? Now the goal is to try to be able to touch the back of your head on the floor with your elbows staying wide. So I don't want you to bring your elbows in like this. I want you to keep them out nice and wide. Now, if you cannot touch your head on the floor, that's okay. A couple different variables play into this. Number one, the width of your foam roller. So if you have like a narrow diameter foam roller, this might be easier for you. I find that this foam roller by Hyperice is a little bit thicker than the other ones that I have. So it's much harder for me to reach my head to the floor. But basically, you just want to go as far as you possibly can. Again, exhaling all of the air out just to mobilize your thoracic spine a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do a few more of these at your own pace. Again, linking movement with breath. I love to do this one first thing in the morning. I find that just really getting my upper back moving helps me stand taller, sit taller at my desk. I feel like I can take deeper breaths and really fill my lungs with air a lot more easily. And it just feels really, really good. Once you've done that a few times, we're gonna go ahead and straighten your legs out. You're gonna keep the foam roller where it is. Arms are gonna be straight up in the air. You're gonna take a deep breath in. On the exhale, you're gonna open up as far as you can with your palms facing each other. And you're gonna try to reach your thumbs and your head toward the floor. Take a deep breath in, come back up again. Exhale, open up all the way. Now again, if this hurts your neck, feel free to go back to the one where you put your hands behind your head. If any of this is uncomfortable or does not feel good, just don't go quite as far. Okay, nothing that we're doing today should really be painful. Some of the myofascial release techniques that we do using like the ball or the foam roller might be uncomfortable, but there's a difference between discomfort and pain. If you get like sharp shooting pain, just ease off or take a break and just like sit, whatever technique that we're doing out if you feel that you need to. It's just really important for you to listen to your body and adjust accordingly, okay? All right, so now when you guys are done with that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bend our knees again. We're gonna do the same thing, but when you come down, you're gonna twist a little bit, okay? So you're gonna take a deep breath in, crunch up. On the exhale, you're gonna come down and then twist, okay? And I like to go all the way down in the middle as well. So again, you like to come up and crunch, exhale, down, twist, and I like to go back down before I come up, okay? So again, kind of go at your own pace, down, twist, down and back up. I find that this one, after you get your back nice and warmed up, feels so good. And again, it's gonna get our back warmed up, not only for extension, but a lot of the rotation that we're gonna be doing today. Okay, perfect. Now, if you guys have a ball, I'm gonna have you go ahead and grab either your hypersphere or your softball, your baseball, lacrosse ball, something like that now. If you don't, You can try to do some of these techniques with the foam roller. They're very effective. Okay, so what I'm gonna have you do is we're gonna start with the base of your neck. So I'm gonna show you while I'm sitting up, just so you can kind of see where I'm putting the ball. I'm gonna lay down on my back, I'm gonna put the ball on the floor, and I'm gonna put my head right here on the ball. So kind of where, like, if you feel almost like where your ear is, and you come back behind the ear, you're gonna feel where your neck connects to your skull, okay? That is an area that people develop a lot of tension in their neck and shoulders. It's where a lot of tension headaches come from. So what I'm gonna have you do is you're going to lay down, put that ball right there, and then what I like to do is do little chin tucks. So again, I'm tucking my chin down toward the floor, almost like creating like a double chin, as flattering as that is, okay? This should feel really, really good, and it should feel like it's releasing some of that tension in those tendons that attach to your skull, okay? So again, you can do little chin tucks. The motion should be nice and small. If you're doing really big motions, the ball might slip out from underneath your head. You can also do this with a peanut, which is like when you have like the two balls that are like either taped together or designed in a way where there's two of them. You can also use a peanut for this. Once you do a few chin tucks, you can go ahead and do some like clockwise and counterclockwise circles. And again, if you find areas that are more tender and you want to spend a little bit more time in those areas, feel free. Now, if you get tension headaches and you find an area that's like reproducing that tension headache and it's like shooting pain like up into your forehead or something, all that means is that you have found a trigger point. Trigger points develop referred pain, okay? So like if you ever have someone that's like rubbing your neck and shoulders and it like shoots pain up into your head, all that is a trigger point, okay? So it's nothing to be like super alarmed about. It's just an area, you know, that's producing those symptoms. So if you release those areas, sometimes they'll get rid of the tension headaches or referred pain patterns that you have. Okay, once you feel like you've done a good job on that side, feel free to switch to the other side. Again, if you do not have a ball, feel free to just put your foam roller back there. Again, you can just kind of turn your head to one side and do your little chin tucks and your circles. But if you have a ball, I prefer the ball if you have a choice. Either are good options though. So again, some chin tucks, spend as much time as you need with the chin tucks, and then you can move on to the little clockwise and counterclockwise circles. Again, if you feel like that ball is moving on you, just turn your head to the side that you're trying to roll out a little bit more. So just turn your head and do little micro movements. These don't have to be very big movements. So you put the ball right in the sensitive area and then just little movements. Okay, once you guys are done there, we're gonna keep the ball if you have one, and we're going to get more into this area. So again, the area like the teres minor, the teres major, the lat, those muscles that are responsible for shoulder stability, the rotator cuff musculature, and these areas get very tight and bound down and can lead to a lot of forward posture, limited overhead mobility, okay? So the way that I like to get it in here is I'll put the ball on my back, I'll lay on it. Now, if this was really, if getting into the lats was really sensitive for you on the foam roller, just proceed cautiously with this. But what you want to do is just kind of put the ball on the ground, roll around until you find some of those more sensitive areas. And again, if you need to support your head with your other shoulder, if you need to take your foam roller and like set it on the ground and rest your head, that's another really good option. But once you find those sensitive areas, just again, like we did with the lat with the foam roller, you can stop there and you can internally and externally rotate the shoulder. If you're not feeling a super sensitive area, move around and search for one. Most people have a lot of tenderness in this area and in one of the attachment sites in this area, if not more than one. And again, if you don't have a ball, feel free to get in here with the foam roller a little bit more. And if you don't have a ball, I would highly recommend getting one because they are an amazing myofascial release tool. Again, the Hypersphere by Hyperice is much like the Hypervolt and the foam roller in that it vibrates, which the whole benefit of the vibration is that it tricks your muscles into relaxing faster than without. So you're able to get in there in a way that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. So it, again, gets those muscles to relax, it calms your central nervous system so that you can get in there much more effectively and with less time. Okay? Once you feel like you've done a good amount on that side, we're gonna stick with the side that you're on right now, and we're gonna go more onto the lat. Okay, again, if the lat was super sensitive with a foam roller, or if this is sensitive, feel free to go back to the foam roller. The more weight that you put in the object, the more intense it's gonna be. So if you need to take your arm and kind of unweight yourself a little bit, that's fine. Feel around. Internally and externally rotate when you find some sensitive areas. I will tell you that before COVID, or BC as people are calling it, you know, I would do my mobility work like maybe once a week or so. And a lot of these things that I'm doing right now with you guys was super, super sensitive. Like I would be on a virtual call with someone and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is so tight. Well, since I've been doing a lot of virtual sessions and like mobility classes like this, I've been doing a lot more mobility work. And who would have thought? Like this is not near as sensitive as it used to be. So again, if you find something that's like super sensitive or alarming, you know, just even spending a few minutes each day working on it can make a huge difference in, you know, how your body moves, how everything glides, and, you know, how sensitive these areas are. So just take note of things that tend to be a lot tighter than other areas and try to dedicate a little bit of time to it, you know, at least a few times a week. It makes a really big difference. Okay, once you feel like you got into the lat, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get more into this junction here, which is more like lat and subscap. So if you raise your arm up over your head and you kind of grab right here, around like where your shoulder blade is, where your thumb is, that is more like your subscap region. It's the muscle that's underneath the shoulder blade, and that's a muscle that creates a lot of issues for people, but it's also really hard to get to, okay, on your own. So we'll try this with the ball. Again, it depends on what size ball you have, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna put the ball like right in your armpit almost, with your arms straight out. Again, this can be sensitive, so just be careful with this. Use this hand to unweight your body a little bit and just sink weight into it as you can. And feel around for those sensitive areas. So for me, I've been working on my lats a lot, and I also, because of the gym closures, have not been doing a lot of pull-ups like I normally do. So my lat feels pretty good. What's really sensitive for me right now is as I get closer to my armpit and almost like where my tricep attaches. So kind of, instead of down here for me, it's more up in here, okay? So make sure you're rolling like the whole distance of your shoulder blade. Okay, if you guys get any numbness or tingling with this, come out of it for a second and then you can go back into it if you wish. There's a lot of nerve bundles that run through here. So again, if you get like that shooting, like electric pain, you're probably on a nerve. So just move the ball, come out of the position for a second. Okay. And once you guys have had enough with this, again, if you've never done this before, I wouldn't go crazy and spend like 20 minutes rolling out this area. So I don't want you to be too sore tomorrow. But let's go ahead and switch if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and start with, again, like that teres area in the back. So again, I like to put the ball there, lay down on it. Search for those sensitive areas. When you find one, internally and externally rotate the shoulder. Ooh, my left side is a lot more tender than my right for some reason. So I'm taking my other hand and I'm gonna just kind of unweight my body a little bit. Because the more compression that you put through the foam roller or the ball, obviously the more intense it's going to be. So adjusting the amount of weight that you put through the device and adjusting the amount of time that you spend on a particular area is how you can adjust the intensity of the self-myofascial release that you're doing. Also, if just sitting here is super sensitive, don't feel that you need to, add the movement component. That's only if you feel that you can, only if you feel that you can handle that and that you want that. Okay, once you've done the teres area, let's go ahead and move over more to the lat. So you're just gonna roll a little bit more on your side. Search for those areas. Feel free to rotate. Bear with me, guys, if this is really uncomfortable for you. We're almost done with the myofascial release part, and we're almost going to be starting the stretching component. I know this is pretty uncomfortable. All that means is that you need more of this. Okay, once you feel like you've done a decent job on the lat, this is where we're going to get more into like the subscap region. So again, you reach your arm up, you grab around that shoulder blade, kind of where your thumb is, kind of where your torso like attaches to your shoulder blade. You're gonna stick the ball right in there, okay? I like to have my arm straight out. Again, as long as you don't have any shoulder mobility limitations, you should be able to get into this like this. If you're not able to get your arm into this kind of range of motion and you have like a yoga block, you can always set the ball on top of a yoga block and then get into it that way. Feel for those sensitive areas. Again, if you get any numbness or tingling, just move the ball, come out of this position for a second. Okay, spend just like another couple seconds here. Once you're done, we're gonna set the ball aside, and then if you have a hypervolt, we're gonna grab that. I'm just gonna grab mine really quick. Okay, so I will also want to take a minute to show you guys the new hypervolt, the hypervolt plus. I have the original as well, but there are some differences between the new one and the previous one. The biggest difference that I find clinically is this new attachment. I don't know if you guys can see, but it moves. So it's more like a cushion versus being like a hard object, okay? So the thing that I really love about this is that when you turn it on, if you go over bone, it doesn't like skip and hurt. I know for me, with the other attachments, if I go over like a really bony prominence, it kind of like skips, and I mean, it doesn't hurt, but it's not super comfortable. The cool thing about this one is that you can kind of do whatever you want. It's also, I think, like 30% more powerful than the original, which is a cool thing as well. So if you have a hypervolt, let's go ahead and turn it on. We are going to bring your arm behind your back, and then we're going to take the hypervolt and we're going to feel around in that anterior delt and in like that pec region. Okay, so again, if you don't have the little pillow attachment, just be mindful of the bony prominences. Feel for those sensitive areas when you find them. Again, they're oftentimes near the attachment sites. I did a workout yesterday that had 1 million push-ups, so my delt and pec is really tight. Okay, so spend a little bit of time here. If this feels pretty good, you can bring your arm across and you can get into this posterior component. I had one of my friends online the other day was using her hypervolt, and she posted on her stories an actually very innovative way to get into your back on your own. She stuck it in the couch, like between the cushions, and then just like laid on it. And I was like, that's really innovative. So you can always use that as well. Okay, and then once you feel like you've gotten this area, get into that delt as well. Again, feel around. If this all feels pretty good, feel free to go more into your upper trap area. Just be mindful the closer you get to your head, it kind of rattles your skull a little bit. Okay, once you feel like you've had enough on this side, feel free to go to the other side. Again, putting that arm behind your back. Getting into the front of the shoulder, into your pec. The beauty of the hypervolt is that you literally can just like stick it wherever you're sore and it gets in there. It's a pretty foolproof tool that is super portable. I think a couple of years ago, whenever they started offering them, I bought a case. I don't know if any of you guys have the case, but it's super convenient because it literally just has like compartments. I don't know if you can see with the, has compartments that hold everything. So it holds like your battery, it holds like all of your cords, and then it has these little areas for each of the attachment sites. So then you can just basically, you know, put everything in here and take it wherever you want. It's a hard shell, so it's a super handy purchase if you don't have one. It keeps everything super organized, and again, as far as portability, it's like you don't really have to worry about losing anything. Okay, so front of the shoulder, we'll get into the back side. And they sell the cases on their website, I think like under like accessories or something. Okay, once you feel like you've done a good job there, go on to the upper trap. Spend as much time with this as you feel that you need. All right, so when you're done with that, we'll set the hypervolt aside. We're gonna go back to your mat, and we're gonna start more of the stretching component of class, okay? So again, if there was anything that you guys wanna jot down really quick as far as like the myofascial release stuff that we did, feel free to do that. We're gonna start with 10 cat-cows, okay? So hands and knees, you're gonna take a deep breath in, head goes toward the ceiling, your tailbone goes towards the ceiling, and you drop your belly. On the exhale, you're gonna round your back, really push the floor away. Exhale out all of your air, bringing your chin toward your chest. Inhale, come up again. Fill your lungs. Exhale, press it all out. Go ahead and do a few more of those, just connecting your movement with breath. Maybe do one more. Okay, and then what I'm gonna have you guys do, let's go ahead and grab your foam roller. We're gonna set it on your right side, just slightly in front of your knees. You're gonna go ahead and put your both hands down on the ground. You're gonna take your left hand, you're gonna rotate up toward the ceiling on the inhale. Breathe in, rotate as much as you can. On the exhale, you're gonna bring your arm through with your palm up, and you're gonna roll that foam roller away from you, and you're gonna try to reach your shoulder all the way to the floor. Now, if you're not feeling much here, lean your body weight more into your shoulders versus your legs, okay? This should create a nice spinal stretch, but also a stretch between your shoulder blade and your spine, so like the rhomboid area, okay? So you're gonna come in, take a deep breath in, come all the way back up again. Exhale, palm up, push that foam roller away. Bring your shoulder toward the floor, exhaling out all of the air. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, come back through. We're gonna do a few more of these at your own pace. Let's do one more. Exhale, come through. Exhaling out all the air. Really bringing that shoulder toward the floor. Then when you come back up, let's go ahead and switch sides. So again, bring the foam roller just outside the left knee. You're gonna take the right arm up toward the ceiling, really twisting as far as you can. On the exhale, you're gonna bring your arm through, palm up. Bring that shoulder all the way to the ground. Again, make sure you have body weight through the shoulder and not just through your legs, okay? Then breathe in, come back up. Do a few more of these at your own pace. Again, really link breath with movement. It's very important for spinal mobility. And again, making sure that you're getting those rib facets, so like where the ribs connect to your spine, moving. Because if those are stiff, everything's gonna be stiff. Let's do one more. Okay, we're gonna keep your foam roller nearby. What we're gonna do next is you're going to stand up. Okay, we're gonna have your legs wide, your toes pointed out at like a 45-degree angle. You're going to bring your hands down to the floor. Now again, if this is too much for you, feel free to like grab your foam roller or a block. You can have your foam roller like this, or you can even have it this way. I don't want this to be creating a lot of pain in your low back, obviously. If you have low back issues, just bring your body up a little bit higher. But what you're going to do is wherever you're comfortable, hands down on the floor, you're gonna take a deep breath in. As you come up, you're gonna exhale out all your air, and you're gonna rotate with your right arm to the ceiling. Again, really pushing the floor away and trying to rotate as far as you can. So take a deep breath in, come back down. Exhale, left hand. As far as you can, rotate. Let's go ahead at your own pace, alternating left and right sides. And you might feel this like in your hamstrings and adductors as well. Again, really using the floor when you come up to really push yourself into a little bit of more rotation. Okay, let's go ahead and do one more per side. What you're gonna do next is let's put your right hand behind your head like this with your elbow bent. Okay, you're gonna be in the same position with your legs. Left hand's still gonna be on the ground. You're going to touch your right elbow to your left elbow on the inhale, and on the exhale, you're gonna try to open up with your arm bent. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more difficult than with your arms straight. I'm gonna have you stay on the right side. Let's do 4 like this. Really breathing in as you tap elbow to elbow. Exhaling as you twist. Once you're done with those, let's go ahead and switch. So right hand on the ground, left hand behind your head. Deep breath in as you touch elbow to elbow. Exhale as you rotate. We're gonna do 4 total on this side. Again, take note if one side is a lot tighter than the other. As much as we like to think that we're perfectly symmetrical, most of us are not. So it's not abnormal to have one side tighter than the other. Okay, once you are done with that, we're going to go ahead back on our hands and knees. You're going to grab your foam roller, and now we're going to do a foam roller cat-cow. So like the cat-cows that we were doing before, but you're going to have your hands on the foam roller. You're going to move your knees back. Keep your elbows nice and straight. When you come up, you might have to tip the foam roller a little bit as you breathe in. On the exhale, flatten that foam roller out. You might have to walk your legs back a little bit more. Keep your elbows nice and straight. And really pull your head through as you exhale all the air out. Again, you're going to feel this in your thoracic spine, but you're also going to feel this in your lat and with your side body. So this is a really good one, and it's been one of my favorites that I've been doing every morning. So again, take a deep breath in as you come up. Exhale out all the air as you come down, really bringing your chest toward the floor, pulling your head through as best you can. Breathing in, coming up. Exhale. Let's do 2 more at your own pace. Okay, once you guys are done with that, let's go ahead and set your foam rollers to the side. We're going to lay on your left side, okay? And actually, if you want to, you can always bring your foam roller as like a pillow, okay? So we're gonna lay on your left side. You're going to straighten out your left leg, so the leg that's on the bottom is going to be straight. The leg that's on the top, you're gonna bend it up as far as you can. You're gonna stack your right hand on top of your left. You're going to take a deep breath in. On the exhale, you're going to start traveling your right arm. So for me, I find it difficult to do this with the foam roller because I don't have enough room to pass my face. But again, you kind of do what you need to do. So I'm going to get rid of the foam roller. So you're going to start here on the deep breath. You're going to start coming around on the exhale. So I'm tracing a half circle on the floor all the way down and around. And I'm bringing my right hand all the way down to like almost where my hip is. Okay, tracing the floor with my fingertips, keeping my elbow as straight as possible. So I don't want you doing this, okay? So again, deep breath in, exhale, come all the way around, really trying to keep the elbow or the knee that's bent on the floor the whole time, trying to keep your elbows straight and trying to keep your fingers on the floor, okay? If you cannot do that, that's okay. A lot of people can't, but that's your target. Okay, so you're just gonna go all the way up and around. Then we're gonna come back through the other way. You might feel this in the front of your pec and chest, like I am right now. And again, really just try to link movement with breath. So let's do just a couple more like that. Again, nice and slow. You don't want to be going through this like super fast, okay? Generally speaking, things related to mobility and recovery, we want to go nice and slow, give your body the chance to relax into each technique versus rushing through it, and your body's guarding, it's kind of fighting you, it hasn't had the chance to relax into it, getting your nervous system all fired up. Okay, once you guys feel like you've done a good job on that side, let's go ahead and switch. So again, right leg is going to be straight. You're going to be laying on your right side. Arms straight out in front. Left knee bent up. You're going to take a deep breath in. On the exhale, you're going to take your left arm. You're going to trace it all the way up and over. Again, really fighting to keep your elbows straight. If you're not able to, that's fine. But again, that's the goal. Up and around. Really fight to keep your left knee on the ground the best you can. Like in a perfect world, you would not be rotating your hip like this as you try to bring that arm back around you. Again, if that's what's happening today, that's totally fine. I just want you to do the best you can to keep that knee down, really pushing it into the floor as you bring your shoulder and your hand out and around. Okay, let's do one more. Okay. Once you're done with that, let's go ahead and sit up. What I'm going to have you do, we're going to start to get into like the neck area a little bit. So a lot of people tend to feel a lot of tightness in the back of their neck. So you always see people like pulling down on their head and doing all that, which we will do. It's all about the details and being very gentle with that. But we're also going to get into like the front of your neck, which is an area that most people don't even think about. But if you think about it this way, again, we're spending all this time sitting at a desk, driving, watching TV. We're always stuck into this shortened position. So as a result, your chest gets super tight and the front of your neck gets really tight as well, your scalenes and your sternum and all of that. So we're going to stretch the back of your neck first, then I'm going to show you the front. But don't underestimate the power of the front of your neck, even if it is like the back of your neck that's bothering you, okay? So what we're going to do first is you're going to take your right hand, you're going to take it palm up, and you're going to sit right on your hand, okay? If this is too much for you, you can always just put that hand behind your back. But in a perfect world, sitting on it just makes life a little bit easier, okay? So right hand under right butt cheek. You're going to take your left ear to your left shoulder. Then you're going to take your left hand to fingertips. And you're gently just above your ear, basically just going to take the weight of your arm and just kind of rest it on your head, creating a stretch through the upper trap region, okay? What I don't want to see is you taking your head and ripping it to the side, okay? Your neck tends to be very sensitive, especially if you're dealing with any neck pain, headaches, things like that. And so overstretching it, being aggressive is not going to do you any favors. In fact, it will make things worse, okay? So really just breathe into this. If you want to, one thing that you can do is when you breathe in, you can try to shrug your right shoulder up to the sky just a little bit. And then on the exhale, relax it and come into that stretch a little bit more. So including some of that contract, relax, PNF, which if you've ever been in the clinic to see me, we may have done, but that will help your body relax into a stretch faster and make it a little bit more effective. So again, feel free to add that little shoulder shrug on the right side as you breathe in if you want to. Okay, let's do one more little shoulder shrug if you're doing that, one deep breath if you're not. Exhale out all the air. Okay, then you're going to gently release your hand. And we're going to do the other side, okay? So be careful when you're coming out of these. If you get a little dizzy or woozy, just take your time, have a drink of water, okay, if you need to. So now we're going to take your left hand, sit on your left, you're going to sit on your left hand with your left butt cheek, bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Again, 2 fingers just above your ear, take a deep breath in. Exhale, gently bring your right ear to your left shoulder, or your right shoulder. Take notice if one side is tighter than the other. Again, if you want to shrug your left shoulder up on the inhale, exhale, let it go. You can do that. If not, just breathe into it. Let's do one more. Okay, again, take your hand out of underneath your hip, slowly come out of that, move your head around a little bit if you need to. And what we're going to do now is we're going to get more into the levator scap. So your upper trap is here, your levator scap is just behind that, okay? So in order to do that, we're going to, again, sit on your right hand. You're going to take your nose to down towards your left armpit, like you're trying to sniff your armpit. Okay, two fingers. You're gonna bring it on the back side of your head, and then on the exhale, you're gonna gently, again, take the weight of your arm, and you're gonna pull your nose more toward your armpit, okay? If you're not feeling this, which most people feel it pretty immediately, if you're not, you might need to turn your neck so that your nose is more toward your armpit. I get a lot of people that like their head is out here, and again, it's all about trying to get your nose in your armpit. So again, if you want to try to shrug that right shoulder up on the inhale, on the exhale, let it go. You can do that, or you can just breathe into it. Let's do one more here. Okay, when you're done there, again, unweight your hand, slowly come out of it. If you need to move your neck around just a little bit, do so. And then we're gonna sit on your left hand. Okay, so sit on your left, take your nose down toward your right armpit, 2 fingertips on the back of your head, deep breath in. Exhale, bring your nose toward your armpit. If you want to, you can shrug your shoulder up on the inhale. Exhale, let it go. Go ahead and do a few more of these at your own pace. Okay, once you're done there, again, slowly come out. Do a few like little circles with your head just to get your neck acclimated. And now we're gonna get more into the front of your neck. Okay, so again, if you've never done this before, it might surprise you what it feels like, but most people really need it. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're gonna take the palm of your left hand. You're going to put the heel of your hand right on top of your collarbone, okay? So I like to take my fingers and almost wrap it around my upper trap, around my shoulder, but the heel of my hand is resting on top of my collarbone. I'm gonna take my right hand, I'm gonna grasp on my wrist, okay? I'm gonna look over toward my right shoulder. I'm gonna take a deep breath in, shrug my shoulder up. On the exhale, I'm gonna drop that shoulder. I'm gonna really pull down on my collarbone with my arms. And then I'm gonna take my head up and over like a rainbow on the ceiling as I breathe out, okay? Once I get all the way over to my left shoulder, just bring your head back. You don't have to do the rainbow back, okay? So again, deep breath in, exhale, really pull down, up and over. Now, when you get like right into this area, you're probably gonna feel a strong stretch through here. If you're not feeling it, pull down more on that collarbone. It's all about stabilizing the collarbone to get a really good stretch through the front of the neck, okay? So let's do a few more like that, and at your own pace, linking breath with movement. If you find an area that's super sensitive, you can always stop there and do like little mini oscillations right in that area if you want to. If you have a desk job, this is a great one to do on your lunch break. Your coworkers might look at you like you're crazy if you are even in an office anymore. And if you are, and if they look at you crazy, show them how to do this, and they're gonna be like, oh my God, this is wild. Okay, so I'm gonna have you guys do that 2 more times. However, during these next 2, I want you to jut your jaw like a bulldog. So really stick your bottom jaw out as you come up and over. And that'll create a stronger stretch. It looks funny, but it's very effective. Okay, once you're done there, let's release that hand. Move your neck around a little bit if you need to. And then we're gonna go to the left side. Okay, so let's take the heel of your right hand, grasp it around that shoulder. Again, this part of your hand should be resting right on top of that collarbone. Okay, that's important. Other hand holding onto your wrist. Take your chin over towards your left shoulder. Take a deep breath in, shrug your shoulder up. Exhale, really pull down with your left hand on that wrist, and then come up and over. Now, one thing that I see people doing a lot is really extending the neck back, like really going back like that. And if you're pulling down on the collarbone enough, you don't really need to go back more than this into extension. So you don't need to be here, okay? So again, go at your own pace, up and over. If you find an area that you want to, just kind of stop there and do little mini oscillations in that spot, feel free to do so. We're gonna do 2 more. Again, jutting your jaw like a bulldog. It's everyone's favorite. But again, you'll feel that when you do that, it really, for me, it really isolates where those muscles attach, like under my jaw. I mean, obviously everyone's going to be different. Wherever you store tension is where you're gonna feel these stretches. But I'm definitely one that I clench my teeth a lot. And so I always have a lot of tension in my jaw that I don't even really notice is there unless I do this. Or unless I go to my dentist and they're like, oh, you're a clencher, aren't you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Somehow they can tell, which is kind of crazy. Okay, we're gonna do one last one. This is going to stretch the back of your neck into like your upper trap area, and it's also going to mobilize your spinal cord a little bit and the dura, okay? So this can create a little bit of what we call neural tension. When we start doing this, if you start to feel that, like, I don't really want to say electric, but a little bit more of like a burny, stretchy sensation, that's neural tension. It's not a bad thing, but it's not something that you really want to like really push over into, okay? If you feel a little bit of it, acknowledge it, notice it's there, it's totally fine. I tend to be really super sensitive to neural tension, so for me it kicks in really early. But it's not one that you just like, oh, I'm gonna grit my teeth and just push through this, okay? Just listen to your body with it. I'm gonna turn to the side so you guys can see me, okay? You're gonna put your hands behind your head like this. You're gonna take a deep breath in. On the exhale, you're going to bring your elbows in. You're gonna tuck your chin to your chest, and you're gonna come down, okay? Vertebrae by vertebrae. Trying to bring your elbows down towards your lap, okay? So for me, I'm already kind of feeling that neural tension. I have some people that can literally bring their body like all the way down to the floor. That's not me. So listen to your body with this one. So again, hands behind your head. Bring your elbows in. Round the neck to the shoulder, to your chest, and roll down, okay? Again, if you feel like that tingly sensation, you feel a little bit of nervy sensation, that's okay. Just acknowledge it and come out of it if you need to. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do this. We're gonna do this 3 times. So come up on the inhale, exhale, slowly come down. If you need to take a few breaths as you come down, that's totally fine. Again, listening to your body here. Some people, like myself, are super sensitive here. Others are not. So if you're not feeling anything, don't necessarily try to push yourself that much harder just to create something. You just might have a really mobile dura, and that's good. Okay, if you're going along with me, let's do one more. Exhale, come down. If you want to like oscillate and swerve a little bit back and forth when you're down there, you can do that. Again, just come out of this nice and slow. You might feel a little tingly. You might feel a little woozy, a little bit lightheaded. If you do, that's totally fine. Just move slowly and listen to your body. Okay, how's everyone feeling?
My upper body is so bad. That was like brutal for me.
I was thinking about you when we were doing the ball release. I'm like, oh, Mike's gonna be hating me right now.
I was like, I hope I'm on mute because I was like,
Yeah. Amazing. So, do you guys have any questions or concerns or anything that I can help you guys with?
Oh my God, the neck was so good. That was like, my neck is so stiff, and I definitely like grind my teeth all night, and so I can really like feel all of that. It's like super intense.
The other thing that you can do is if you're a clencher, if you know that you grind your teeth, you can always take like a ball, if you have like a smaller ball, like a golf ball or something, and you can roll it in there. Like I find like this ball is almost too big, but if you have like a smaller one, you can roll it like right in here, and that will really do a good release as well.
Yeah, that feels good.
And as my dentist says, maybe consider getting a mouth guard, all of that stuff.
yeah, Jane, good mouth guard.
Oh, every time I go, they're like, have you been wearing your mouth guard? And I'm like, wait, where is that thing?
Liz, do you have any advice for sleeping? Like the way I've always felt better when my neck's elevated when I sleep, almost like as if I'm getting like a stretch while I'm sleeping. But I get the feeling like when you do that for 8 hours, it's probably like I do wake up with a stiff neck a lot, but I have a hard time just laying like flat on one pillow, like straight. Is there like a best practice for sleeping?
I mean, sleeping is one of those things that is very different person to person.